Okay, next question we got. I don't miss my marriage, but I miss companionship. Dating is rough.
It is. It is. Um, this again, I mean, I kind of I'm keep saying some similar things over and over again. I get it. Yes, companion, especially when you've been with somebody, but also too, I mean, there's a component of it. It's like, well, if you're divorced, the companionship probably wasn't there in your marriage for the last, couple years or year or something. So it's realizing, well, first identifying like, yeah, what is it that you're missing too? Because a lot of it, again, we are missing in our marriage too, and that's part of the reason why it failed too. But really focusing on what is it that you want, and what is it that you want to bring? What is it that you want in your next relationship, but also what do you want to bring to your next relationship? So I think even before you get into dating and worrying about dating, again, it goes back to really taking the time to work on yourself. And sometimes sitting in that can be uncomfortable because it's new and you're bored. So going out with friends and things like that is fun, but eventually like the novelty wears off. You're like, okay, now what do I do? And it's going to be uncomfortable, but really that's when you grow, and sit with it and realize like going back to that original question, like, how do I want to live my best life now? And so don't focus so much on dating, focus on yourself would be my advice, because then when you are ready to date, you know who you are, what your standards are, what you want to bring to the relationship, and then what you'll allow to bring, that person to bring to you, and then your children as well in that dynamic. So if you are dating, just have fun, have conversation, or even like on the apps, you can text and everything, and maybe that'll like suffice for a little bit. But really just work on yourself. So take that time to, take that walk, do the journaling, join new community groups, find what you're interested in. Especially now with the online world, there's so much to get into. Like, you don't have to go back to school. I talked to some clients, who weren't working, and then now they're like, well, I have to go back to school. I have to get this degree. I have to do that. And you really don't. I mean, you can, but you can do certification classes online, and that you're not sacrificing time away from your kids either. Do it at, night when they're settling in. And so I don't know, for me, it all goes back to just, again, working on yourself. And then that way you won't be I think you'll enjoy life more. I found that I started dating and I was like, I don't even want to waste my time dating right now. I want to work on me. I want to have fun with my friends, and then I'll figure out dating later.
Yeah, I think a lot of people confuse companionship with dating, and it has to be in a relationship. Yeah. And in reality, even personally, it's like friendships and connection that you're craving. And if you have that, you don't feel that need as much to date. That said, what you were saying earlier, if all your friends are married, that can be like a disconnect too, and that can be frustrating and a drag. So it's now on you to like initiate these new friendships and connections that's uncomfortable and tricky. But like you said before, you have to, find or create this new tribe of people that you can have this companionship with.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay if your circle is small. I think you and I were chatting just before this, and we're like, our circles keep dwindling because we know like who relates to us, who understands, who we want to let into kind of like our circle. So it's okay even if you just have a few friends, but yeah, find that companionship within yourself and just friends. And then naturally it'll evolve into dating, and you'll be better prepared to date too. Cause I think if you're too consumed or too worried about dating right off the get-go, you'll probably just be repeating old habits, old patterns. I've seen it. I've done it.
Right. We've all done it. So what do they call it? I don't know if it's trauma bonding, but it's something familiar. That's for sure.
Exactly.